Hi, Susie from Pink Diamond Guide. How are you? Looking a little different the way we're presenting our reading today. Thank you to my dear friend Jules, who says, "Why don't you put your face on camera?" Me personally, I like to watch the cards, but like if so you're going to get both. You're going to get me reading, and you're going to get to have a look at the cards as well. So here we go. Let's have a look at what's happening for the collective right now, and the big energy that we're really moving through is the eclipse energies. We're still in that 35-day eclipse window, which is, it's a 35 days where you have a chance of two eclipses, and we've got a solar and a lunar eclipse, right? We've been through the solar eclipse, and we're still coming up to the lunar eclipse, which is around the 28th. Right, so we've still got a little bit of work to do under these eclipse energies, which is all about the great reset, right? Relationship resets, power struggles. We're looking at detoxing scenarios. For some, it's really lucky in love. For others, they fall out of this energy and they've got more work to do, right? They've got more work to do. They've got to figure out these power dynamics between masculine and feminine energies, or anyone else that they've got struggles with in their lives. So the solar eclipse energies are dominating. But what's really exciting is that we're moving, the next window of energy is a lot of Scorpio energy. So Mercury goes into Scorpio, Sun goes into Scorpio. Then we move down the rabbit hole. This is when we start to look at energies that are more like Alice in Wonderland. It's like figuring things out, like understanding the esoteric, the mysteries, the challenges. We get into much deeper thoughts. We get into conversations that have probing questions, like the hidden becomes fascinating, and no question is a dumb question as long as it's deep and probing. Intimacy is indicated under these, and it's a sexy energy, it's a smoldering energy. It's going to be an interesting time after what has been a very heady energy, a swordsy energy. So now we're moving into these deeper waters with Scorpio, which could reveal a lot of interesting things for the collective. What we'll focus on is how these eclipses are still affecting us, because we're right in the heart of it. So over the past few days, relationships would have been really under the microscope. Energy would have been really under the microscope for that deeper analysis, that pulling apart, that figuring out what it is that you want, where you want to go, those kinds of questions. Now 2023, we're wrapping it up. As the year rolls out, 2023 has been that soul year, and as we wrap it up, we're going to be moving into what is a leadership year. So as we wind down this deep swim in our soul space that's been 2023, we are laying the template for leadership as we move into the new year. It's really interesting, actually, laying down the template for leadership. That's literally where I spent last week in a seminar with business coaches with JT Fox, who's an entrepreneur. Fascinating couple of days. I actually came home and said that was probably the weirdest couple of days I've had in a long time. He was definitely mocking spiritual ideas. He was challenging, things that I held as really, really deep truths, and he was openly mocking them. So it was a really interesting space for me to sit in. Here we have this world authority on entrepreneurship, and here I am in my authority is in spirituality and moving through higher consciousness, and I was really literally openly being mocked for the processes that I believe in so deeply. So it was a really interesting space for me to sit in, facing my truths, facing my challenges. I wonder how that's been playing out for you, but I came out the other side of it just going, I really need to refresh. I really need to reboot my energy. And what's interesting is, again, I've been loving these cards that I've been using, these really earthy ones. I found them last year, but I've only just really got familiar with them. And the push from the universe is to rejuvenate. And moving out of that seminar, I just felt like, I just want to be with, not that the information wasn't useful and interesting, don't get me wrong, but it was just, I really want to be back with, my people, spiritual people. Not that he's not, I'm going to say this all types of wrong, because everybody's my people, but this idea of people who are really embracing unity consciousness, higher consciousness, and growing. And so this energy of rejuvenate was really, really, important to me. It meant a lot. And then we've got the energy of grounding coming through. That walk on the earth to really feel like we're bringing everything that we know. The big reset. We want to be grounded if we're going to be resetting energy here in the soul space. Belonging, right? I just want to be with my people, my tribe, my vibe, right? So this energy was something that was really calling out my heart space over the past couple of days. And as I got challenged with, different belief systems that were coming forward and going, where's my truth in all that? My truth hasn't shifted. In fact, I just feel more convicted of the things I want to share, the things I want to talk about, and the processes that we go through. Over here in the challenge position, we've got the card of eagerness, right? So, it's a challenge because we want to hit a reset button and we want it now, right? We want relationship resets to occur in a hurry. We want to feel like things are moving quickly. And sometimes you got to stop and be really thinking about, what am I aligning with? What are we moving with? What are we shifting into? And sometimes we're in such a hurry to get to the next level that we need to just stop and, really figure out what it is that we want to reset. Not just hit the reset button, but figure out what's on my line that I want to reset, what's on my line that I want to disappear. And don't be in such a hurry to get to the finish line. Embrace the eclipse season, as challenging as it is. Embrace it, because it really is an opportunity to get you to your next level in a successful way, in the way that you want to get there. Here in the advice from Spirit, it's overpowering, right, or overwhelming, however it's particularly phrased there. This energy has been a lot. Spirit has really been pressing on people to move into their truth and into the essence of who they are. And the likely outcome here is that you're more reinforced in your belief. And like I said, moving into this room where people are openly mocking spirituality and everything that I do. I've gone there too. Like a fascinating study in how his world moves. But walked in and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot for me to take on. And my beliefs got challenged. But when I walked out the other side of it, I just was more convicted than ever that my job is to be here and help people, help them understand their ascension journey, help them move through the different challenging energies that we come across, particularly for the collective, the twin flame collective, where my focus lies in helping people evolve, with questions around love. Like how are they moving in their divinity and how they're understanding love. All right, let's have a look at divine feminine energy and see what we have. We'll do a bit of a shuffle and see if we can't get ourselves a reading. Please feel free to let me know if this doesn't work and you'd prefer just to have the cards there. I'm always open to suggestions on how you prefer to receive the information. So if you'd prefer to have the cards back, just say so and we'll work our way through. Look at the push from the universe. There we go. 2 of Cups comes in. We are looking for those relationship resets, right? We're looking for that shift in the dynamic where we're getting out of power struggles, where we're moving into more equilibrium, where we're, feeling lovey-dovey. And divine feminine has been having this energy come through quite a bit lately, and going, we want to move you into a softer space, a lighter space, where it's not so push and pull all the time. Bottom of the deck, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the Page of Cups, the 8 of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. This is our first energy from the bottom of the deck. So look, it's interesting, right? This is kind of, I can reflect on this quite easily. It's going to play out differently for everybody, but I often ask Spirit, I go, I want the next level of understanding. I want the next level of training. I want the next level of process, right? And even though it comes through from the Page of Cups, versus the Page of Pentacles, I always move into a new level of study with a very open heart. I'm willing to learn what the next person's got to give, and then I will put that energy through sieve, the funnel, to try and figure out, how it's relevant to my journey. And if it's relevant to my journey, I'll take it on board and I'll work with it, and I'll try and figure out what it is about what that person's trying to say that I'm meant to either, embrace, take on board, whatever. What am I meant to learn? What's the up, the down, and the positive? And this time I did. I traveled, and I walked away in a very, very weird space. This could play out completely different for all of us. We're all different phases of the journey, but for me, I've walked out of that journey and I've come home and I've gone, that's the weirdest 3 days I've spent in my life, right? In going, what did I have to face that I didn't want to face? What did I have to walk past that I needed to let go? What belief system, what struggles, what challenges? I've walked into a very, very open heart on my journey, right, that I've had. And when I walked out a little bit icy, a little bit savage, a little bit, more willing to cut away processes that don't serve me. Like, I used to be much more, just fill my cup. And now I'm much more refined in what I take on. I'm much more refined about what I cut away. And this is what's really great about the eclipse energies, is it gives you this really, it's like a superpower right now. It's like you can sniff bullshit at a mile away and you'll be able to go, actually, I know what I want to walk past. I know what I want to heal. I know what's in my abundance, and I know what I need to cut away. I know what I've got to do. And it's almost a savage energy at times, because it's not that you're rude, but it's like, thank you for that information. No, thank you. Right. And I literally walked out of this space where, and it's going to sound really up myself and really arrogant, because, you're sitting in a room with someone who has the title of world's number one, but I walked away going, I don't think that's for me. I don't think the information that you have is really the path I want to take on board. And it can be a little savage, even though you walk in with an open heart. You complete the journey, you figure out where your abundance is, and you go either thank you or no thank you. But the cutoff game is really solid, right? You go, yeah, no, I need it, don't need it, however the scenario plays out. But you have a really solid ability to go, no thank you, not for me, thank you very much. Next level of energy, what do we have? You got the Knight of Swords, the Death card, and the Seven of Swords. And again, this will play out differently for everyone, but the information that you've been given, you see this is like there's the old and the new. It's a hard cutoff game. The Death card is a hard cutoff game. And here, I will not be deceived. I won't be deceived. That's how I'm seeing these three. Like, because this guy, he's plowing ahead with new ideas, right? He's ready to move into a new plan, new structure, new way of being, and he charges ahead with those ideas pretty readily. But here it's going, well, I'll also cut it off just as soon, because I won't be deceived. There's a death to any deception energy, even though I'm charging forward. So divine feminine, what are you moving forward on? And like I say, is like twin flame union and the waves, they are task-centric, not time-centric. So here, this guy is very, very task-centric, and he's going, what is it that I need to work through at this point in time? It could even be, what are my shadow energies? And I want to say, hi, Anna, that you sent me a message going, what is my shadow work? What is it that I've got to do? So we've got to dive into these things that live in our subconscious that are holding us back and keeping us out of frequency. And I can't tell you exactly what your shadow work is going to be, but I can tell you where you're going to find it. You're going to find it in your subconscious energy. So what that is getting into healing spaces, getting into meditation, getting into places where your subconscious comes to the fore. It's listening to the autopilot. It's listening to all of those voices that are happening behind the scenes. Your shadow voice is your subconscious voice, and what lives in there is going to be different for everybody. And the process into it is via getting the conscious mind out of the way. What you find in there, then you can start to put things in place to start to heal it up. But the key is to get into the shadows. How do you do that? You get your conscious mind out of the way. Processes like meditation, hypnotherapy, those kinds of, my beautiful friend Jules, she's got a lovely Pleiadian healing modality that dives into your subconscious as well. Anything that's getting your conscious mind out of the way to reveal the things that you don't tell yourself but hold you back. That's the shadow work, right? And it's got, shadow work sounds such like a mysterious name, but essentially subconscious work. What's in your subconscious? If we need coherence from here to here to here, what you want to be able to do is know what's hiding behind this energy wall that is stopping coherence occurring, because the only thing that will bring your twin back is when these energies are all in coherence with a twin flame union. That's the only goal of this thing, right? The goal is coherence. You get coherence, and by default, you'll bring them. They'll start their journey, and they'll start to rise and move into coherence as well. But the goal is going. You can't get coherence if you don't know what's in the shadows. So to do that, you've got to get your conscious mind out of the way, and this is what this energy is suggesting, right? Is like nothing deceptive can be left in there. If you want twin flame union, here's the idea: go forth and get the knowledge. Get into the shadow work. No more deceptions in the process. Knowledge is the fast track to union. I'll say it a million times to anyone who goes, well, what if I can, sorry if you can hear my grandson in the background. He just got home from school, being a bit noisy. But if anyone tells you there's a magic text you can send, if there's a cord cutting process you can go through, if there's a magic spell you can cast, any of the above, in my personal experience, which is now over 10 years that I've been in this kind of working at this pace. Like my whole life I've been engaged with spirit, but the twin flame journey the last 10 years, want to know to be true, it's task centric. What are the tasks? They are soul tasks, and it's all about getting coherence, right? You get it within you. There's nothing in the nothing between you twin. There's a entanglement between you two. And if you get yours right, you'll pull them up into that next level of frequency. It's always tumbling. It's always moving. It's always in flux. So your fight is to always have coherence with your twin flame frequency. Oh, I hope that wasn't too much double Dutch, but that's the core of twin flame union. It's the core of anything in life, is what your frequency is. That's what you'll bring towards you, right? It should be called the law of resonance, not the law of attraction. It's like your reality is what you resonate with, and it has to have coherence in all your energy centers for you to bring it forward. Now, what the universe wants us to be resonating with right now, Two of Cups, right? They want us to be in love. They want us to feel happy and light and all those beautiful honeymoon energies that we get with the energy of the Two of Cups. That beautiful soulmate resonance. And look, it sits in how we're showing up. We're showing up as the Empress. Well done, Divine Feminine. Well done. Because this journey has been way out of whack for about the past month or so, where we haven't known how to really pull our Empress energies online. But now we've got this beautiful coherence between the Two of Cups and the Empress, which means we're showing up fully in our divine feminine energy, which is, yes, you got to balance masculine and feminine, but we need someone who holds the resonance of this as the dominant energy. In divine feminine, you're doing a great job. It's coming through as saying that's how you're presenting. What's in the soul space? Look at this. I just want to communicate what I know. I just want to be able to speak to what my soul voice is saying. And what it's saying is I want to belong. My tribe, my vibe. I want to belong to my people, right? Everyone is our people. Nobody is not our people, but there's certainly people who you resonate higher with, right? And right now we want to be talking with them. We want to be communicating, and we want to be sharing our ideas. We don't feel like we want to be sitting in silence, where as over the past month there's been a lot of that really insular private energy, but this is wanting to come out of that and wanting to speak, wanting to connect, and wanting to be fully in our Empress energy, so that we may enjoy this beautiful light-loving energy that the universe is opening up towards us. Interesting, because I'm not seeing any of that really deep Scorpio energy yet. We're still kind of on the surface, so we're going to enjoy the eclipse energy for a little bit more and have some of that from the perspective of the Empress, some more of that relationship reset, feeling lucky and love. Let's align with it so we can bring more twins into union. The more twins that come into the union, the easier it is for the next lot of twins to come into union. So let's cheer everybody on as we do our soul work towards all of us resonating with these higher frequencies so that more unions can come online. What is the challenge? A little bit of friction in there. I think this is, at the end of the day, this is pretty pissy in the grand scheme of challenges. It's a little bit of grr, but it's not a, I don't think this is a grand scale arguments. This is just perhaps where you are in your journey is like the universe is saying, you should be in love, you should be enjoying all the fruits of that. And you're really, really eager for it, like you really want it to come online, but you're not seeing it show up in your world because, like I said, everybody comes into union in their own time. It's task, not time. So when you've aligned with the frequency of union, it'll happen for you, right? And sometimes we can go, well, other people are getting there and I'm not, so I feel grr about it. The energy within me is that I should be enjoying a honeymoon type energy, should be light and loving. Why isn't it happening for me? So the friction we could be feeling is the pace of things. But if your union's not coming online, no, reality's right 100% of the time, keep doing your work. This friction will pass and you'll move into the next plateau. Like that Scorpio energy that's coming up, it really does invite deep conversations, which is why I think that this energy is a little bit surfacey. I'm not really overtly concerned. It's just a little bit of grr that things aren't moving to the pace that you'd want them to, but they will get there. They will get there. The advice from Spirit, see, the star, hope. Have hope. Have hope. And know that this journey is, it's about the journey. It's about the journey, not always the result. So even though right now the universe is pushing a feeling of really lovey-dovey energy and it might not be showing up for you, have hope that it's taking you somewhere, right? Even if it's not into the physicality, you're moving into a new level of understanding who you are and what the twin flame journey is all about. And at the end of the day, that's the goal. Knowledge is the goal. You want to understand as much as you can about the divine and the divine nature of love as you can, right? Union is the cherry on the top of understanding these energies. And look at this. The likely outcome, the student. I'm not kidding, right? The student. Knowledge is the secret, right? Knowledge is the secret. The more you understand about the journey, the more you understand about the science of it, the more that you understand about unity consciousness. You're never not entangled with your twin. There's nothing in the nothing. You have entanglement between you. You have entanglement with a lot of people. It's just with your twin. Because your point of origin is so close, it's a very, very intense thing. So to learn more about the twin flame journey and who you are and how this entanglement operates, that's the key to union. There's no perfect text message to send. There's no perfect thing to say. We just want to pour our hearts out, right, and just go, if you only knew how much I loved you and how perfect we are for each other, and you just want to express the physical perfection of what it would be if you live this life together. But divine says it's not what I sent you there for. I sent you there to evolve. I sent you there to teach you about divinity. I sent you there to learn about love and to teach other people about it. That's the goal, and you can't teach it if you can't be a student of it, right? So this knowledge is the key, right? The more you know about the journey, the easier it is to bring unions around. So for mine, and I do, look, I've got, they're not fancy. I've got some videos. They're not fancy, but they explain as basically as I can some of the mechanics of a twin flame journey from the perspective that I understand them. And, it's what has worked for me to understand to any time our union gets into wheel wobble. It's the things I put in place to bring it back around. If we get into wheel wobble, it means one of us is out of alignment. So we put the processes in place to bring it back into frequency so that we can continue on our journey together, right? So to me, this is the answer. This is the answer. Become a student of the journey, and it is the thing that tips you into the next space. But well done, Divine Feminine. Whatever we're doing right now, we're quite grounded. We're connected with the cosmos. We're connected with the earth plane, and we're ready to birth the next chapter. Shall we have a look at Divine Masculine energy and see what they've got going on? Super curious. It's like, again, I say I have the advantage of first-hand perspective now, which is, like it's such a gift, and I always appreciate it for the gift that it is. And watching Ricky just evolve over the past few weeks, like his understandings after that window of really, not talking to each other, and being disconnected, waving as we walked in the hall, but not really connecting. He's come out of it with a whole heap of, I'm going to say he's got strategies to move forward, and he's got processes that he's really working through, which is exciting to see. Now, that's really great under the eclipse too, if this is happening across the collective, because Divine Masculine is facing things that they haven't wanted to face, and they're coming up with clues about the things that need to be let go of in order for them to evolve. So this has been it was a massive ascension journey, but we're in a window of relationship resets where power struggles go out the window. There's more detoxing to go. We're in the middle of this window, and it looks like, for all intents and purposes, that the Divine Masculine is claiming the solution, not staying stuck in the problem. Let's see what our reading has to say, and see where Divine Masculine is headed. Let's have a look. Ace of Wands, right? Feeling it. I was feeling it. And Eight of Swords is what's in the, how they're showing up. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Two of Cups moves into the challenge position. Interesting. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, right. The work, right? In the advice from Spirit. We have the Six of Wands is a likely outcome. Loving this, loving this, loving this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's really kind of awesome what we've got going on, right? Look at this. 3 of Swords, Ace of Swords, 2 of Pentacles. Look at this, right? 3 of Swords. This is really going, to me, it's all about how many times they have caused their own kind of pain, right? How many times have they self-sabotaged? How many times are they, receiving swords through the heart? But it's a tough energy, right? When you've been hurt, but you're the one who creates your own pain. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I'm not talking narcissists. I'm talking people who self-sabotage because they have low self-esteem, or they don't understand heart-based energy. They might have a childhood trauma. They might have an adult trauma. But essentially, because they've been through some degree of trauma, then they start to sabotage their own healing and their own process forward. So what I've got here is this idea of understanding what that self-sabotage energy is. Now, this is what I was sort of alluding to in this energy with the eclipses. It's figuring out what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to throw away, right? And it's juggling the two, because some of these energies they really do need to move forward with, but some of this, it's just got to go. And what they're figuring out is going, if I cut away this one, will I stop hurting myself with the result of my own actions? You can't cry foul when you are the one who sets up the pain point, and then you get hurt when someone doesn't like what you do, right? And this is what's been happening a lot for Divine Masculine, is that they've been, sitting in less than their divine self, causing havoc in across the collective, and then scratching their head going, well, what the hell just happened there? Why do you have a beef against me? Now they're understanding that they are the ones who's actually been causing their own pain. So they've got to figure out what to let go of, what to hang on to, in order to stop creating their own crappy scenarios and then crying foul about it. Righto, next level of energy. King of Wands, Page of Wands, and the Four of Cups. Look at this, like King of Wands, Page of Wands. This is about understanding their desires, right? And here, King of Wands can be a bit of a selfish character, right? And going, demanding their place in the world. And this is kind of the energy I was picking up, right? In going, you can be selfish as you like. You can demand whatever you like. But if you go forth and your demands are going to lead you into this, right? Was it worth it? Your demands are leading you to have 3 swords in your heart. You want to cry foul about it, but you don't want to do anything about it. Now, what I'm picking up here is a regression. A regression. So the King of Wands was a very selfish character, causing his own detriment, moving into self-sabotage, so to speak. This guy's going, I think I might take a step back and just have a look at my selfish ways, because look at this. I'm going to have a look, and I'm going to let the divine instruct me on what it is I need to change to feel better about myself, to have fresh new starts, to have a reset in the energy, so that I don't land myself in these scenarios where it's ending up, like I'm fully self-sabotaging, right? So to me, this is a regression from the king to the page, where it goes, I'm going to move back and be a little more innocent in my demands versus being aggressive with them. And I'm going to ask the divine for a little bit of help in stopping this sabotage energy. And the divine answers with the Ace of Wands. So again, look, see the regression there? You go from the king to the page, right? And I'm going, divine, help me. Divine, help me. The divine says, righto, I'm going to give you the ace. I'm going to give you a fresh new understanding about the things you want. Now, divine masculine goes, wow, that's interesting. I don't know what to do with it. It puts me into a whole new school of thought about how I'm supposed to move forward. Now, look at this. This is fascinating, because then you've got the 7 of Pentacles move into the soul space, which says they are in the pre-harvest of knowing what they're meant to do. And then the advice from Spirit is the 8 of Pentacles, which says get to work on this thing that I've given you, this new endeavor, this new feeling, this new sensation, this new energy that I want you to roll in. I know you don't understand it yet. I know you don't. And in your soul space, you feel like you've been given a whole heap of something that's a whole heap of nothing, and you don't know what to do with it. So what's the challenge? 2 of Cups, right? Divine Feminine has been given that. That's the energy that we're sitting in. Divine Masculine is going, I'm challenged by that, right? You come forward in all this beautiful energy. You could be my all and my everything, my love, my honey, my walk on the beach, my comfy slippers, my all, my everything. You could be it all, right? How have I been given all of this gift? How do I get given all of that, and how do I keep sabotaging it? How do I keep messing it up when I know just how valuable it is? And this time, Spirit says, just get to work. Just work really, really hard on you. Work on, understanding yourself more. Work on understanding divinity more. Work on understanding what this gift is that I'm giving you, right? This wand, this fire, this flame needs to be worked on so that you don't sabotage it, because I want you to move into victory. It's been a long journey. And again, look, we have these wands. Divine Masculine is lit up for the journey, right? And again, as I said, I'm seeing that with Ricky. He's like a man with a plan going, this is what I've got to do. I've got to move forward this way. I've got to understand it. I've got to get to work. So this energy is manifesting, and we'll start to see it across the collective. Where we should start to see this energy go as November, December tips over is this energy turns into bigger conversations. So for twins across the collective, there'll be a lot of really extremes of emotion, deep conversations, intimate conversations that really seek to get to the heart of the matter, the depths of the stories. So we're looking to have a victory with everything that they've battled against, which is amazing. Okay, let's have a look. If Divine Masculine could give Divine Feminine a message, what would it be? What would they actually say right now if they could deliver a message? Let's have a look. Divine Masculine, what would you tell Divine Feminine if you could? Oh, I'm changing. That's it. I love that as a message. I love it when the magician comes out with the universe, and we've got the Six of Cups. We've got the Hanged Man. So that would rest actually pretty easy with what I was just saying. We've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the Four of Swords, and we've got the Two of Wands. Interesting little read, because what they're saying essentially is going. I am changing. I know I'm changing. I've got everything I need to make the changes that are in place. But essentially, what we're doing right now is they're rehashing over the past. They're going, where did I get it wrong? Where did I get it right? And when I was talking about that reset energy, what we need to do is figure out what we need to have a reset on, because it's not enough under this energy to just go, bam, reset. I want a new relationship. What the universe wants to know is, what are all the ingredients of that relationship? And the perfect analogy of that is like, if you're cooking, right, you need to have all the right ingredients. If you're going to produce the result that you want, you need to have the oven set at the right temperature. You need to be able to mix it properly. You need to know what goes into it, what order it goes in, how to beat it properly, and then how to cook it properly. That's what's happening now, right? The magician and the alchemists of old, they would need the philosopher's stone, that perfect tincture that would turn lead into gold. That was the idea, right? Now, if you don't have the perfect combination of ingredients, you could blow this thing up, right? Instead of turning lead to gold, you could create an explosion. Who knows? But what Divine Masculine is saying is, I've got all of the elements out in front of me. I'm working really, really hard to make the transformation. And what I'm doing is backtracking over the past. I'm backtracking over the past to figure out exactly what the correct ingredients, what the correct where did I get it right, where did I get it wrong, what am I hitting the reset button on, which will then, this is why I said it's not a surprise to see the Hangman there, which would suggest that they're still sort of in their caves working through their process, taking deliberate pause to figure things out. Queen of Wands comes in, which suggests that they will be challenged, really. This sits in the challenge position. So they're saying, it's a challenge for me to come forward right now because I don't want to self-sabotage. I really just want to heal. So at this point, I'm going to stay at my crossroads. I'm going to stay at my crossroads until I've completed this process. So the story doesn't really change in putting that level of energy down. It says there's a big change underway across the collective. Divine Masculine is moving to the next level. For some of you, it will lead to communication as October moves into November, and it'll be deeper. It'll be deeper than you've ever known the conversations to be. So for those of you who that energy, where you've aligned to that, awesome, exciting, can't wait to hear more about it. And if it's not you just yet, we're going to keep working the energy, right? And I want you to know that even if you come into union with your twin, there's an ascension process that occurs for union, and we'll be here to support you through that as well. So it is an energy game. It is a frequency game. It's all energy. It's all frequency. And that is the key to these unions. All right, let's get some Divine Love Oracle. Give us a message for Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, and for the connection, and see what we end up with. Ooh, for Divine Feminine, we have Love Thy Will Be Done. For Divine Masculine, call in your guides and angels and reflect for the connection. This is, again, it's an interesting read. Love Thy Will Be Done. This is really fascinating because this is an energy really leaning into divine, do your thing. Love or divine, God, Christ consciousness, thy will be done, right? Which is what we're here to do. We're here to bring forth the feminine, or if you're reading from the feminine, this is the feminine energy. We're here to bring Empress energy to this earth plane, right? This is what our job is to do. Love, thy will be done, which is stand up and be the divine feminine energy that I sent you here to be, right? And the journey is to move into that level of understanding. Now, why this is such a massive challenge is because, for me personally, I shared my story. I went to a conference, and listen, it was 3 days, and across the 3 days, I don't know how many times this guy mocked spirituality. He openly mocked God, openly mocked Christ, called us all the kumbaya mob and the ums, and like he was openly mocking to higher consciousness teachings, right? Spent the whole time talking about how to get the right mindset, but wouldn't use words like manifest, wouldn't use words like um, managing energy. He wouldn't use any of the words that would make sense to us. He's got the same message, but fully denies that it comes from a divine source, right? And that your ability to create comes from a divine source. What we're here to do is to stand up in that, in the feminine aspect of it, right? And bring the divine's will forward, no matter the resistance. Even if you get told, nobody understands you, nobody understands what you're doing, nobody understands where you love your twin, nobody understands where you're ascending, doesn't matter. You're here for the divine, not for them. You know, and if you get mocked, if you get challenged, the journey is on you. You can tap out of it at any time. But I've attempted to, but like essentially the calling to stand up in divine feminine energy is overwhelming, and we go, divine, your will be done, not mine, even in the face of those kinds of challenges. This is really interesting. I like this. It's calling for divine masculine. It's calling in your guides and your angels. And, I've seen this manifest with Ricky. He's really interested in getting to know his guides and angels better, really interested in Archangel Michael and figuring out what he was all about, and his warrior energy, and how that applies to masculine energy. So this is really interesting that the divine masculine is calling in their guides and angels to understand them better and to help them to move through this ascension journey. And I think this is, again, the message that's really hardcore, is to reflect this Six of Cups energy, where divine feminine is reflecting over what has been a really powerful journey with the divine, or maybe you've just started with your journey with the divine and you're reflecting on where you are, where you've been to this point, whereas divine masculine is starting to reflect over his soul journey, possibly over lifetimes, right? So this is understanding the broader picture. So we're reflecting over our lifetime here, possibly reflecting into expanded lifetimes, and trying to make sense of the essential energy is in this reset. What do I want to keep? What do I want to let go of? So, look, I think I'm going to wrap that reading up here, knowing that as we move into November, December, these readings are going to get much deeper. Like the energy that we're in, we're still with the eclipse, and we're looking to put some underlines and some exclamation marks there. But essentially, we're still in this window of refining, resetting, power struggles, detoxing. All of that is still very present. Super interested to see how this energy tips over now that we're moving into these Scorpio energies, which we're in, by the way. Mercury is in Scorpio, Sun is in Scorpio, but I'm going to do a separate reading about that because I feel like those energies haven't quite manifested yet. But as they do, prepare. It's going to be a deep dive. Alice goes to Wonderland, and we're going to be finding out all sorts of interesting, fascinating things. That will be my next reading. So I'm going to wrap this one up and say, till we talk next time, in faith, hope, and love, it's bye from me for now.